This is Sudden Impact.
In this series, I pitch plans for what I want to see happen at TNA Wrestling's live events and pay-per-views. Hello, everyone. I'm John, and welcome to another episode of Sudden Impact. So without further ado, let's get started. Now we begin the night with the X Division match, which is the perfect combination of power, agility, and pure, unadulterated awesomeness, with hard-hitting action, high-flying spots, and constant near falls. Now Moose is unable to get the job done and retain his championship because despite hitting Slater with several devastating spears and sky-high power bombs, the ref counts one, counts two, but just as the ref is making his way to count the three, Slater's arm shoots to the sky. Now, Moose is thinking, I've hit him with everything, and he just won't stay down. And as Slater is kicking out of the pin, the system comes down and surrounds the ring. And just as they are about to enter the ring, the lights go out. Strange music starts to play and then suddenly stop. The lights come back on, and after a brief pause, "Get ready to fly!" blares out across the speakers, and the man who is the original Mr. TNA, AJ Styles, runs down to the ring with chair in hand and clears out the system. Styles then gets into the ring and stares down Moose, who is standing there dumbstruck at the man who put this company on his back. Now Leon Slater slowly gets back to his feet and realizes that Styles is standing in the ring. Styles looks over to Slater and gives him a knowing wink, and as he's exiting the ring, gets caught in the ropes, drawing both the attention of the ref and Moose to help get him out of the ring, which allows for Slater to strike with a quick roll-up. Now, the ref, seeing that this has happened and that Styles is now safely out of the ring, quickly runs over and counts the 1, 2, 3. Winner and new X Division champion, Leon Slater. After this match, Moose is furious with AJ Styles and attacks him, but Styles easily fends him off, given that Moose has just had such a tough and arduous fight. Then Styles grabs the mic and says, "For years, I was the one who was Mr. TNA. And as soon as I leave this company, this wannabe," pointing to Moose, "starts calling himself that. No way am I gonna leave any doubt that I will always be Mr. TNA. So Moose, I am challenging you for a match at Bound for Glory." We then see the announcement of the Bound for Glory pop up on the screen in the arena as well as on the broadcast, with the event being held on Sunday, October 19, from the Liacouras Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The next match, which is for the Knockouts World Tag Team Championships, in this match I borrowed some ideas from Cultaholics Wrestling's 9 Pitches for Evolution video, where they said that the inspiration would be added to the women's tag team championship 4-way, making it a 5-team match and coming out as the victors. Now, with all of this, TNA suddenly changed the match so that it is also for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships as well, making this match a winner-takes-all match. So with the stakes raised and the most attention that both championships have ever gotten in their history, both the Elegance brand and Inspiration put on the best wrestling tag team women's match in North America. Now, doing everything possible to make sure that this match lives up to the increased importance of the situation. Now I'm talking interference from both the Personal Concierge and M by Elegance, both of the Elegance brand themselves. TNA Director of Authority Santina Marella bringing out some of the knockouts who aren't on the match card, and as well as some of the WWE women's roster, to ensure this match has no further interference. Of course, this backfires majorly as both sets of rosters start brawling with each other on the outside. And amongst the confusion, the Inspiration managed to regather themselves and take advantage of the Elegance brand's concern for both the Personal Concierge and M, and hit their double team maneuver to get the pin, to retain the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships and become the new TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champions. So next up is the heated rivalry and a quest for redemption and revenge. Now, I'm talking about the match between Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander, both of whom make their entrances alone, which is strange considering how Mustafa Ali always manages to get his Order 4 group to accompany him down to ringside. But more on their absence later. Before the match starts, even, Ali attacks Alexander, pummeling him with chair shots across the back. But Alexander won't go down. And the ref, who now has Mustafa Ali under control with the assistance of security, is about to call this match off when Alexander begs him not to and says that he can go. This again draws Santina Marella out from the backstage area and says, well, if Cedric Alexander is able to actually go with the match, then this match has now been turned into a no-holds-barred match. The ref rings the bell, and Ali immediately returns to the brutal attacks with the steel chair, to the point where he has Cedric Alexander in position for a concerto. But all of a sudden, the rest of Order 4 makes their way down to the ring with an assortment of weapons, including chairs and kendo sticks. Now, Mustafa Ali looks around at his Order 4 teammates and then says to Cedric Alexander, see, they all believe in Ali. And he raises the chair for the finishing blow, however, is stopped by John Schuyler. Now the crowd reacts with uncertain shock, but this shock soon turns to an explosion of cheers and joy as John Schuyler swings his kendo stick, bringing it down across the head of Mustafa Ali. Jason Hotch joins in on the attack with his own kendo stick, and as Mustafa Ali crawls his way away from the beating he's receiving at the hands of the good hands, he makes his way to the corner where Tasha Steelz is standing there with chair in one hand. A look of relief falls on Ali's face, but just then Tasha steals her nerves, grasps the chair and unleashes all of her fury on Ali, officially announcing the implosion of Order 4. Just then, Cedric Alexander gets to his feet and observes the situation. Now the Great Hands and Tasha Steelz leave the ringside and go to the backstage area. And as this is happening, Cedric Alexander hits the lumbar check on Mustafa Ali and picks up the win. Oof. The following match is Tessa Blanchard versus Indy Hartwell. This match was changed on the fly to a number one contenders match for both the Knockouts World and NXT Women's Championships at a later date, of course. Now, this match is a standard dastardly heel versus babyface match, with the crowd initially taking their time to get into the match after all of the previous excitement from the other matches. But when they do get involved, they get stuck into Tessa Blanchard, who plays the role of the cocky, better than everyone heel to perfection. Now this riles up the crowd even further, and half of the crowd is booing Tessa, and the other half is starting to cheer for Indy Hartwell. Now this spurs Hartwell into action, who feeds off the crowd's support and opens up a flurry of offense on Blanchard. And the crowd starts chanting towards Tessa Blanchard, "You got owned." Now they do this repeatedly, and of course those aren't the words they use. I've had to heavily censor the words that I think they would actually be using, so I don't get demonetized and the video doesn't get taken down. Now this brings Indy Hartwell to tears, basically, laughing her head off, which in no turn infuriates Tessa Blanchard. Now the roles reverse. Blanchard takes advantage of this distraction and returns the offense with a series of devastating offense. And of course the crowd is giving her a chorus of boos. Victoria Crawford makes her way down from the entrance ramp just to cheer on Tessa, drawing even more boos from this crowd. Wow, this crowd does not like Tessa or Victoria Crawford. The match continues with the crowd getting stuck into Blanchard and Crawford. Eventually, Victoria Crawford gets on to the apron to distract Indy Hartwell, and as the ref tells her to get off the apron or risk getting sent to the back or worse, Tessa uses this opportunity to kick out Hartwell's knee and makes her way to the top rope to set up her own finisher, the Magnum. Now, when Victoria Crawford is getting down from the ring apron finally, she accidentally knocks into Tessa, causing her to lose her balance and fall into the ring. Indy Hartwell, completely unaware of what just happened, only sees Blanchard lying on the ground, doesn't question it, and hits her finisher to pick up the victory. The ladder match for the World Tag Team Championships is a four-way match between the champions, the Nemeths, consisting of Nick and Ryan Nemeth, defending against the Hardys, Matt and Jeff, the Rascals, Zachary Wentz, and possibly Trey Miguel if he recovers in time, but it will most likely be Myron Reed who fills in for Trey Miguel, and First Class, consisting of AJ Francis and Casey Navarro. Now, this match is utter chaos. Each and every wrestler gets the opportunity to basically wail on their opponents with the ladders. The intensity keeps building until all teams are laying out. Now the crowd cheers out of respect and chants, "This is awesome." The Hardys, with their years of experience in ladder matches, are the first to get to their feet, set up a ladder for which they start climbing. Just as they are about to reach the championships, however, Casey Navarro appears seemingly from out of nowhere and does a springboard maneuver from the ropes and knocks over the ladder with a drop kick. He then sets up this ladder for AJ Francis to use to bring down the championships for First Class. Now, this will be the first championships that First Class have won in TNA Wrestling. Now, this is sure to bring them the money. The next match also builds on some of Cultaholic's pitches for Evolution video. Now, this is the winner-takes-all match for both the Knockouts World and NXT Women's Championships. Now, the competitors are the Knockouts Champion, Marsha Slamovich, and the NXT Women's Champion, Jordynne Grace. Now, Grace comes down to the ringside in her entrance with Blake Monroe, and Slamovich and Grace proceed to put on a match for the ages and worthy of being the third match in their series of matches. This one has everything. Plenty of back and forth finishes, kicking out of each other's finishes, and so much more. Now, Blake Monroe gets fed up with this, goes to the announcer's table and grabs a chair and slides it into the ring. Grace picks up the chair, looks at it and smirks, then throws it out of the ring. Now, she's gonna do this properly without resorting to cheating. Grace and Slamovich both get into it again. And after several minutes of total non-stop action, Grace is exhausted. Slamovich is exhausted. In opposite corners of the ring, just as the crowd goes wild, Grace is about to continue this match when suddenly Monroe offers her the chair again, which Grace knocks away and turns back to face Marsha Slamovich. But crack! She is hit by a chair, turns around to see Blake Monroe holding the chair with an evil grin on her face. Now Monroe blasts Grace again in the stomach with her chair. And of course the referee is stunned by what is happening. Before they can count for the disqualification, Monroe quickly lays him out as well. Now, Slamovich has no qualms about taking the advantage, especially after being involved in this most exhausting of matches. So she initially helps Jordynne Grace to her feet, but as soon as Grace is helped to her feet, Slamovich gets her in position for the snowplow, hits it, and wins this match. Now, TNA Wrestling has possession of 2 of WWE's championships and will be looking to bring their own world championship back into a TNA wrestler's hands. Which leads to this next match, which is the 3-way match for the TNA World Championship. Now, all competitors get special entrances with fireworks, pyro, and flamethrowers, and plenty of other fanfare. Just as the ref rings the bell, Mike Santana and Joe Hendry seemingly form an alliance to take out NXT's Trick Williams, turning this match into a one-on-one. Now, the back and forth between the most over wrestling personality right now and New York's own is just unbelievable for both the crowd and the viewers at home. Now, false finish after false finish, reversing finishes, kicking out of finishes as well. Now, the crowd is absolutely going wild at this. And each time Williams tries to get back into this match, both Hendry and Santana attack him. Now, this brings First Class to the ring, and they get involved in this match. But as they are nursing injuries after the ladder match they have finished earlier in the evening, they are also seen off fairly easily by Hendry and Santana. When all of a sudden, the king of TNA, Frankie Kazarian, who runs down and attacks both Hendry and Santana, goes over and helps Williams get to his feet and stops suddenly as he sees that both Hendry and Santana standing in the middle of the ring, and they look angry. They both team up once more and eliminate the threat posed by Kazarian and Williams to make this officially a one-on-one match in all but name. And with one final flurry of offense, Mike Santana hits an almighty STB, knocking Joe Hendry out and pinning him, with the ref counting 1, 2, 3, meaning that winner and new TNA World Champion, finally completing his personal redemption arc, Mike Santana. As the broadcast goes off the air, the entire TNA locker room empties to celebrate with Santana. Fireworks go off and confetti rains down from the ceiling. The fans go home, having witnessed a night they'll never forget. Whew! That felt good, to flex my creative muscles. Well, that is how I would book Slammiversary's matches. Let me know what your ideas for these matches would be in the comment section. And I want to give a special thank you to Cultaholic Wrestling for their Pitches for Evolution video, which gave me the ideas to build on how TNA wrestlers can get some of their momentum back from WWE. Now remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and ring the bell for notifications on new videos. Listen to this podcast anytime, anywhere, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and of course YouTube Music. I'm John, and this has been Sudden Impact.